Good day, sir. I am Judeline F. Alas and I will be discussing the chapter 10. So in our daily life or some point of life, we sometimes do rentings, rent home, even the businesses, list machinery, and any other assets. So how to account that and what is the treatment? So chapter 10 provides us the answers. And that's what I will be discussing today, the list accounting. So under IFRS 16, the list accounting is defined as a contract or part of a contract that conveys the right of the use for the underlying asset for a period of time in exchange of consideration. So let's dissect it. In a list, it involves two persons, the lessee and the lessor. The lessee is the one who obtains the right of the use of the underlying asset, while the lessor is the one who provides the right of the use of the underlying asset. For example, si Juan is a Catholic Russian o nagabalak siya na magrenta o room for hassle-free dapit sa Boyayang, in which si Maria ang owner. Si Juan is considered as the lessee and si Maria, which is the owner, is considered as the lessor. So in a definition, it also states that it conveys the right of the use, meaning na ay right ang lessee to obtain substantially all of the economic benefits from the identified assets. So since part na sa ilang contract o nag-agree na sila ang duha ka parties, so na ay right si lessee, which is si Juan, na magstay dito throughout the period of time. And ang underlying asset na ginapasabot sa definition, it means the subject of the lease for which the right of the use of asset has been provided by the lessor to the lessee. Same example, ang subject of lease nila Juan is the room na iyahang rentahan na kailangan i-provide ni Maria sa iyaha. So we already define what is list accounting. We have this other one, the operating list. This is where ang lessee shall recognize list payments as an expense, either straight line basis ba or systematic. Pero dili na siya mag-apply in two exemptions. If the term is short term, meaning 12 months or less, and low value, under the new list standard, wala sila na-provide og quantitative threshold sa low value asset, but it is based on the value of the asset when it is new, meaning it does not qualify if ang nature of sa asset is not typically low value. For example, sa car, it is not considered as the low values because it is new. Typical example sa mga low value assets are mga furnitures, office equipment. So how to recognize the two? To recognize the right of the use of asset is it is initially recorded at cost. So it comprises with the present value of the lease payments or the initial measurement of the lease liability. When we will use the present value of an ordinary annuity when it is a series of equal payments made at the end of the consecutive periods. Then how to use the present value of one when it is a combination of interest rates and time periods. Also includes mga lease payments made to the lessor less any lease incentives received. It is deducted because this is the reimbursement made to the lessor for all of the costs associated with the lease by the lessee. And also ang mga initial direct cost for obtaining a lease and the estimate of dismantling, removing, or restoring the underlying asset. But leasehold improvements, these are not included as the direct cost of the right of the use of asset because it is part of the property, plant, and equipment that should be depreciated over the shorter or over the period of time. After the initial recognition of the right of the use of asset at cost, the subsequent measurement is applying the cost model. To apply the cost model, the lessee shall recognize the right of the use of asset less any accumulated depreciation or impairment loss. So how to depreciate? Under IFRS 16, the lessee shall depreciate the right of the use of asset over the useful life in two conditions. Number one, if ang lease na transfers ownership to the lessee over the lease term, or if the lessee is reasonably certain to exercise a purchase option. But without the two, without transfers of ownership or exercise of the purchase option, then ang lessee shall depreciate the right of the use of asset over the useful life and the lease term, whichever is shorter. Asset is initially recorded at cost and subsequently measured at the cost model. The measurement of the lease liability shall measure at the present value of the lease payment. So it shall be discounted using the interest rate implicit in the lease. So if ang implicit interest rate cannot be readily determined or not given, the incremental borrowing rate is used. So what are the difference between the two? Ang implicit interest rate, it is the rate of interest that causes the present value of the lease payments. While the incremental borrowing rate, it is the rate of interest na ang lessee would have to pay to borrow funds.
So, we have the components of the lease payments. Number 1 is ang fixed lease payments. Mano siyang ginabayad ni lessee kay lessor for the use of the underlying asset during a lease term. For example, ang fixed annual rent niya at the end of the year is 1 million with a lease term of 5 years. Speaking of the lease term, mano siya ang non-cancelable period, meaning the lessee has no option to terminate the lease contract, but it is enforceable between kay lessee o kay lessor. Establishes a maximum in determining the lease term. Number 2 is variable lease payments. So it varies because it changes in facts or in circumstances. So na ay remeasurement sa lease liability. So ang lease liability and the right of the use of asset is remeasured in situations where there is a change in the index or rate, or changes in the lease terms, and changes in the estimate of the residual value guarantee. Example, ang lease term ni Juan is at 2 years, and after the 2 years, the lessee decided na mag-extend of further 5 years for the lease, then there will be remeasurement of the lease liabilities because there is a change in the rate and also the lease terms. Number 3 is exercise price of a purchase option. If the purchase option is not exercised and mag-recognize ka og loss between the difference sa carrying amount sa right of the use of asset and the lease liability. So, ang imuhang initial recognition sa right of the use of asset, last nimo siya sa accumulated depreciation or katong annual depreciation nimo multiplied by at imuhang lease terms. Then, if imuhang lease term is 10 year, then i-add mo siya sa carrying amount of the of that 10 years, and i-add po nimo ang imuhang lease liability or present value of that lease term. Then you will get number 4 is amount expected to be payable by the lessee under the residual value guarantee. So, dapat imuhang carrying amount is same as the residual value guarantee. The general rule is, if ang fair value is less than the residual value guarantee, then mag-recognize kag loss because there is a cash settlement for that loss. And if ang fair value is greater than or higher than the residual value guarantee, then there will be no additional entry because there is no cash settlement. Last one, there is a termination policies, and that compose the list of payments. Sample problem, ang entity entered into the list of machinery with the following information. Ang iyang annual rental payable at the end of the year is 1 million with a lease term of 5 years. Ang iyang useful life of the building is 20 years. Ang iyang implicit interest rate is 10%, and the present value of the ordinary annuity of 1 is 3.791. Then si lessee decided na mag-extend siya sa iyahang lease for further 5 years, and one of the factors for the remeasurement, as I discussed earlier or as I mentioned earlier, is there is a change in lease terms or there is a change in an index of rate. The entity entered the list on the start of January 1, 2020, and after 3 years, on January 1, 2023, as ang lessee decided to extend the list for further 5 years with the following information. Ang new annual rental na nila payable at the end of each year is 600,000 with the new implicit interest rate of 8%, and the present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 5 periods is 3.993, and present value of 1 at 8% for 2 periods with 0.857 and 1.783 for the present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 2 periods. So this is how to compute the extension option for or the remeasurement for the list.
So this is the table of amortization. To get the present value, the annual rental payable of 1 million multiplied by the present value of ordinary annuity, which is 3.791 for that year 2020, and to get the interest for that year, you will multiply the present value by the implicit interest rate. Since it is already given, you will not use the incremental borrowing rate, and that interest for that year is subtracted by the annual payment to get the principal, and that principal subtracted by that present value of the year 2020 to get that present value of at the end of the 2020, so on and so forth. For the journal entries, we already know that at the beginning of the year, we should always recognize the right of the use of asset and the lease liability. So we debit 3,791,000 and credit lease liability of 3,719,000, and at the end of the year, we recognize interest expense debit of 371,900 and lease liability of 628,100 and credit for the cash payment of 1 million. As well as at the end of the year, we recognize depreciation, the present value divided by the lease term of 5 years. We will not base it on the useful life of the building since it is an extension option. So, ang lessee is certain siya for the purchase option. So, debit depreciation of 743,800 and credit accumulated depreciation of 743,800. So this is how to compute the remeasurement of the lease liabilities. On January 1, 2023, ang lease liability is remeasured using the new implicit interest rate, as I mentioned earlier, the 8%. So ang annual rental na remained 2 years of the old lease term of 1 million multiplied by the present value of the ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 2 periods. Since 3 periods is not expired, now we will compute for the remaining 2 years. Multiplied by 1.783, we will get the present value of January 1, 2023 of 1,783,000. So we will compute for the extended lease term. Ang annual rental na change as 600,000 multiplied by the present value of ordinary annuity of 1 at 5 periods, 3.993. We will get the present value of January 1, 2025 of 2,395,800, and we will multiply it by the remaining 2 years, which is the present value of 1 at 8% for 2 periods, 0.857, and we will get the present value of January 1, 2023 of 2,053,200. And now we will compute for the total present value of the year 2023 on what we computed lately by adding the old lease term and the extended term. So we have the total present value of 2023 of 3,836,200. So after knowing the total present value of the year 2023, we will subtract it by the present value of the year 2022, which is ang lease term na nag-expired na. We will get the increase in lease liability of the amount of 1,186,211 after subtracting by 1,639,989, which is the present value of the year 2022. So to remeasure the lease liability on January 1, 2023, we recognize the right of the use of asset, which is 1,186,211. That is the increase in lease liability on what we computed lately. And we will record the annual rental on December 31, 2023, which is the interest expense of 306,896 with the lease liability of 690.